Hello there YouTube, this is Sibbles and Bits back at it again with month of Tiny Rogues, and today we are going to be playing, well, some more Tiny Rogues. Last video, we fortunately were able to get most of the baseline explaining out of the way, so today we should be able to jump straight into it. More specifically, we're going to jump straight into the fire and go full Cinder 16. Now, I will go over these, and then in the next video, we're going to be going over my mastery choices. Main point of that is that I would hope that after seeing Cinder 16, then I'll be able to more easily explain like why I'm choosing certain mastery choices. Because most of my mastery choices aren't like character specific or anything like that. It's specifically to counter Cinder 16, and then if I'm not playing Cinder 16, then obviously it's just an intrinsic benefit there. So, going over these in order, we have double-edged sword. Bosses have less health and armor in the first phase, but more health and armor in the second phase. Obviously, during the second phase, they are more aggressive, they have more deadly bullet patterns, actions, however you want to say it. So, it makes it easier to phase the boss, but then you're going to be fighting the most deadly version of the boss longer. Inferior arms makes your starting weapon have a negative enchantment. This sometimes isn't bad. For the most part, like I think there's a varying degree of them, but sometimes you just get negative 10% damage, which, while still significant, isn't that bad. Sometimes you get up to like negative 30 attack speed. That's a seriously big deal. Occult grounds, floors can contain up to 3 times more packs of enchanted enemies. This is going to become more prevalent later, but by itself, this isn't really that deadly. And then, of course, we have warming up. Stamina regeneration is delayed by plus 3 seconds on floor 1, plus 2 on floor 2, and plus 1 on floor 3. Again, this basically isn't that big of a deal. Like, plus 1 second to your stamina regeneration is actually kind of a big deal, but I don't know if that continues after floor 3. I would assume not, but basically the way that Cinder 16 works is that it's trying to kill you as soon as possible on the floors, and this is primarily part of it, is adding plus 3 seconds onto your stamina regeneration. Cascading Pain increases chance for cursed rewards to appear. I'm pretty sure this also gives you 1 curse, or maybe it's 1 down below. So basically, it's just making sure that our room rewards are going to be less good. And on top of that, when we roll for stuff like say a chest of gold, it's more likely to drop less stuff. So we're just going to get less things, so we're going to ramp up slower. Negative 2 inventory slots, probably the most influential of all of these. Generally speaking, it doesn't really matter. Just means that you have less room to carry stuff to sell. And if you're playing like some sort of a pet build, or notably like cast on crit, or you're hot swapping like 3 to 4 weapons, you'll notice this. Otherwise, for the most part, it just means that you make less money. Remote Guardians bosses are initially accompanied by 2 soul automatons, and then of course in phase 2 it'll call them again. It doesn't call 2 more automatons on the phase, so if you manage to kill the boss without killing the automatons, there will still just be 2, which can be favorable in some instances. Unjust Incentive makes so that some doors are spiked, so you take 1 damage when you go through them, and it even mentions here that you can bomb them to remove the spikes. Arch Nemesis, bosses, mimics, and basilisks are enchanted. That's pretty much one of the most notable things here. Down below, we're going to encounter even more spice related to this. The main thing to note is that, again, the main thing that's going to kill you is bosses, and they're going to try and kill you like as soon as possible. So bosses having enchants I'll go into a little bit more explanation on it later, but this is quite potent. Adds additional oppressive enemy enchantments to the pool of enemy enchantments. So basically, when things are enchanted, they have more stuff to choose from, and they like to think that some of those are like deadlier than some of the ones that are normally in the game. I think some of them are easier, but there are definitely some that are, as they say, quite oppressive. Your first set of trait choices will not reveal themselves except for their attribute type. Generally doesn't matter. I know that a lot of people do have like issues with this because it's like, I want to play the game the way I want to play the game. I think that that's an incorrect way to play roguelikes myself, and I enjoy like figuring out like what's going on with my build. You always have the option of re-rolling it with an obsidian dice, and I don't know. Generally, just always pick red, I guess. I think that red traits are the strongest traits in the game right now. Pestilence, if we get poison, it lasts for 10 additional rooms. It also slows our movement by 10% and reduces our stamina regeneration speed by 25%. The simple answer is don't get poisoned 5-head, but it's not always that simple. Centurion Hunter, a Soul Automaton X variation, will sometimes enter combat encounter and attack you. They don't really describe it very well, but you'll know it when you see it. Like when it happens, it'll be hard to miss. And it's basically an additional enchantment for that room because of how dangerous the individual enemy is by itself. Conqueror's Will, bosses subdue you for 8 seconds when the fight starts, and upon transitioning to phase 2, and you deal 50% less damage while subdued. So in other words, they're trying to make sure that we don't just burst down the boss instantly, which happens a lot in baseline, like Cinder 0. Death's Door, you start with 1 heart. You don't have any. You start without any class inherent soul hearts. Your armor starts not repaired, and health flasks are empty. It doesn't state block here, but I'm pretty sure that you don't get block either. So basically what this is saying is if you get hit once, you die. Again, game is trying to kill you as soon as possible. You should be able to make it past floor 1 without getting hit most situations. And you can obviously counteract this with the number of trinkets that are available to you, number of classes, and then of course twice enchanted. Any enemy pack that is enchanted has an additional modifier. And this is pretty much I would say the biggest thing that's in here, because we already have bosses with enchants. Enemies themselves are 3 times more likely to be enchanted, and we have deadly enchants. So, to sort of summarize it, Cinder 16 isn't necessarily hard in the way that games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring technically aren't hard. A majority of it is experience and muscle memory, and any individual instance here, any boss, any elite modifier, even the Centurion 10 that we were talking about earlier, all of those things individually shouldn't cause you damage. Now, we're all human, and we take what we call in the industry bad damage. However, you start to add those things together, and you get stuff like the Phoenix boss with other stuff on the screen, and we start getting into what we call nonsense. Stuff that's like pretty hard to ascertain and know what you're supposed to do. The more nonsense there is on the screen, the more likely you are to take damage or just straight up die. So, in combination, all of these things cause a lot of nonsense, and we're probably going to rip a couple of times in this video. We may not even get a win, but I'm going to try to get a win, obviously, and I'm going to try to get it within the hour, especially now that all that explanation is out of the way. And I have to get out of this, I believe. Nope, random's down there. I'm blind. Alright, they gave me an alternate class. That definitely helps. The alternate classes are like pretty frickin' ridiculous. Like they're leagues above the other classes. So we're gonna go ahead and play Dragoon. Just taking a look at stuff here. Everything seems pretty standard here. They have a higher base speed than normal. They start with -1 alignment. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. They have 2 hearts, that's standard. 4 strength, 2 dex. It's a good spread. And most notably, they have the Wyvern helmet, which we will take a look at in game. And our hits from weapons always count as far and close range. That's insanely powerful. Sorry. Alright, so I am going to keep the bombs. We're going to start the game. Again, I think bombs are highly undervalued. I hope I can actually show some of that off. Alright. Draco Spear has 20% lethal hit chance against dragons. Are you serious? Lethal hits are double damage. It's basically, again, a crit without being a crit. And then, of course, the Wyvern set makes all enemies dragons. Or at least considered dragons as far as damage is concerned. The helmet gives us 20% damage dealt to dragons. And this just gives us suppression, so health versus bosses. That's actually very helpful. So, in other words, we have 20% lethal hit chance plus 20% damage against all enemies. And our damage is both near, far, wherever you are. Alright, now we can start. Oh, there he is. Oh, I did not have my dash back because it has 3 seconds of cooldown. So using our revive that early was not ideal. Can't go wrong with red. What did we get? Barbarism. Each point of strength is a critical hit multiplier. Kind of useless to us right now. We'll go ahead and take this event because we don't really need to grab more bombs. These are good. Which one do I want? I believe it's not the squirrel. Squirrel is magic find chance. It's the owl? Or are you magic find chance? Increase movement speed. Hey, I'll take it. If I can't dodge, make me move faster. That flask would have been great had I not been hit earlier. We got money. Let's go to the tavern. Do we have a... That is not considered a rare weapon. So dude over here, this knight is only concerned if you have a rare or higher weapon. They will give you the reward for free. We don't have enough money for sake. We could buy some dice. We could also just buy some raw damage. Whiskey? Increased attack speed. 14% increased attack speed. Is that good? We'll stay cheap and just buy some beer. Now, one thing to notice is that beer does not show up on your character sheet, like, at all. Watch it, like, make me a liar. Yeah, we're still doing top end 226. I choose to believe that beer does work, and it's just for whatever reason not rigged into your base damage like most other things are. It maybe is considered in the same vein as damage versus dragons. Like, obviously you can't show that on a character sheet, so I assume it's an outgoing damage instead of like our base damage, which again doesn't make sense, but whatever. I will take a rare item. So one thing that I do want to note while I'm in here is that my general strategy is to either get to the inn or get past the first boss without taking a hit. Because both the nurse and spending 10 souls, which you get 10 souls for every boss kill at the bonfire at the start of a level, will give you all your hearts and all your flasks. At that point, you're now playing the game, and one of those modifiers is already gone. Obviously, we did not do that, so I'm not going to spend 10 gold to get one flask, but I'd be more than willing to do that otherwise. I really don't want to take a curse this early, especially because... I guess I can actually just check. Sorry about all this. We do not get a curse from that mod. But if curse rewards are 3 times more likely to show up, I don't want to see it. Tornado and lava enchanted, that's very rough. So, you can see that these guys have like 2 shapes on their head, these little automatons. Those shapes determine what their attacks are. And so if they have favorable attacks, I actually want to keep them alive for this phase. Otherwise, if I kill them and they get respawned, they're going to be a completely different automaton. Otherwise, they themselves don't really have a lot of HP. So yeah, other than that one hit of bad damage that we took, like, that was a pretty textbook 4-1. I really don't need boots. +2 stamina isn't bad, though. For dash invincibility, I'll take the wander boots. Really no need not to. So, the number one thing that I'm looking at here is obviously we are guaranteed to have a bad weapon because it gets a negative enchantment. We got 15% reduced attack speed. Could have honestly have been worse. So, the other thing that I'm looking at is I need to replace my weapon with literally anything as soon as possible. I'll take the int. Having a companion also really helps this early. Runic sword. Like, all of these are technically huge buffs to my damage, except obviously losing the 20% lethal hit chance against dragons. Can't really do much about that. Tomahawk might be good because it's technically ranged. The swords are also technically ranged. They hit in sort of like in ellipses. Magic also technically isn't bad. What's our trade again? Barbarism. Alright. This is actually quite good early. Yup, okay. Cheese gives us an extra tipsiness that's incredibly valuable. I'm honestly just going to throw this whetstone on here immediately. It is very wasteful. Especially when you get... Ah. Is it technically worse, though? I think it might be worse. Like, yeah, it's a spear. It's got very far range, but pretty much the same damage. Slightly worse scaling. Like, I guess we replace that. There's a blacksmith whetstone. We're going to put it on our tomahawk again, because that's how I use. Another blacksmith whetstone. Is this technically melee? Because melee can go up to full... Oh my good lord. And some booze for damage over time. Not really interested. Okay, game. Okay, game. Hilarious. Eh. That is a lot of dice. Holy lord. I would like to refill one flask, please. Oh, the pike gets a return hit? And I take 3 damage to check it out. Not really worth. Nah, I'm not going to spend souls. Meteor Enchanted, why? I'll be perfectly honest with you. For a second there, I thought I was playing Necromancer, and those were my skeletons. Very dangerous. Alright. Glaive Enchanted on Merveil is kind of annoying. It's another thing for me to track when I'm not good at tracking things. Oh. I thought I had the tomahawk on my weapon swap. I do not. That was sloppy as all get up. I don't actually want the nunchucks. Thank you. I see a lightning ring. I don't cause lightning ailments yet. Increased trigger damage. We don't cause triggers either. Like, they're both not bad. They don't take equip load. These really aren't great at all. Okay. I'll gladly take more booze, thank you. Oh, that's not good. I walked into that. Alright. I wonder where that enemy was that kept those totems up. I believe the totems disappear when you kill all the totem enchanted enemies. I might be wrong on that. Anyways, go ahead and randomize again. Simply because that's how we are. Deprived. Alright, let's do it. We got the staple. Exceeding our weight limit will reverse the effects. Understood. I have no long range. Oh, this is supper. Literally any weapon, please. Okay, I guess they don't disappear. Now I know. I do want some gold. Oh my good lord, this is going to be terrible. Prism enchanted? I honestly am not even sad. I would do anything to not be deprived. Alright, we got probably one more go before I gotta cut the video, so hopefully this time does a little bit better than other times. We're on tier 2, or the alternate tier, so that definitely helps. Berserker gives us each point of strength, increases attack speed and critical hit chance. Pretty good. It means that strength is basically, as far as damage is concerned, the other stats. We're going to see what we can make of that, though. Twin Axes definitely helps. All Twin Axes were buffed by 30% in the last update due to the fact that they were considered not good. I disagree, but... Warcry on combat start and taking damage. Taunt all enemies in the room. Taunt makes enemies take 35% more damage at close range. I'll take it. And we're going to bomb this, because anything that costs health always drops flash charges when it's bombed. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss a secret. Oh, there it is. Grants +1 to up weapon upgrade level. Okay. I'm going to wear that for now. Grants 15% increased melee damage, and on kill gain 2 stacks of haste. Kind of liking that. Let's go get a helmet. Gabo with tornado and proximity defense. Thank you. That was incredibly favorable. Very low amount of nonsense on that screen there. Grants increased energy damage we don't currently have. Protects you from getting cursed once. You know what? Why shouldn't I have it? I'm beautiful. Oh my god. Tomahawk also isn't bad. Grass Blade's okay. It attacks quickly, which I guess activates our lucky hit chance more often. I'm thinking it's the Reinforced Club +4. It's got lightning damage on it. It might be an arc staff. Wish I could afford that. Random blessing versus tavern. We'll go to the tavern. Forgot if this was a rare or not. We can use a bomb to get our flask back, which means that we could technically spend all this. This increases our lucky hit chance. I'm willing to go there. Use gloves. Danger zone, huh? Okay. We got hit once, but we have suppression for that. I hate enemies that can be invincible and hit you at the same time. I.e. that mole. On level up, gain a soul heart. That's not bad. Increased primary attack damage. It's decent. We have Warcry this run. Might honestly still be poison dart risks, just to add some poison damage to people. It's another attack too. Yeah, we can equip that. I believe we want to go law. Damage against dragons is obviously kind of like nice. Otherwise, these other ones aren't really doing much for us. We honestly may just skip this. We don't need to heal, which is good, but we might actually be able to buy a stat. Another health would go a long way. Allows us to drink more. I'll take the cursed beef. Kind of figured that was going to happen. Nonsense. That prism always ends up getting me, and I personally despise those bees. Like, for an early game enemy, I hate them more than late game enemies, because I don't know if it's just the speed of the bullets or the way that they travel, but it really messes with my condition. And I think that they fire way one too many bullets too. Like an early game enemy that pretty much just like you can't get within melee range of it, otherwise you just get blasted. I'm actually feeling quite good about our weapon. I could see us still going for something else. We're not limited to like melee. And if we go to the other side, we're going to get melee anyway, so we might as well just get a free weapon, I guess. Inflicts bleed. Okay. We lose the lightning damage, though. That's kind of important. Pawn shop. Yeah, I'll use the key to make some money. That's still long range. I'll keep that on us. Get rid of this. And we'll go directly into a shop. That's an easy trade. Dragoon, increased damage. A shield. Okay, game. Ugh. Ugh. Come on, man. Oof. Now, I honestly don't know if that bullet that hit me is seeking or if I literally just couldn't see where it was actually going. We technically already have gloves. Let's get a charm. Possessed weapon is annoying on this enemy. Shouldn't be bad, I think. Shield enchanted means that this is going to last a little while. Good lord. We almost died there again. I don't really need equip load capacity. Like, all these are actually quite terrible. This would be good to have a golden dice for, so that we could reroll those rewards. But I guess this is what we got. So we'll keep going. We should have 30. Yeah, so we can buy another heart. Yeah, see, for whatever reason, these enemies don't wig me out anywhere near as much as those bees. Increase effect of debuffs per point of equip load on you. That affects our taunt, which increases near damage, as well as our charm, which increases far damage. Is shock a debuff? I believe it's called an ailment. It's an ailment, so it won't affect that. God, that was terrible. Huh. We could intimidate with critical hits, which we are relatively proficient with, actually. Agony Staff, very good endgame weapon. Vulnerability is also a debuff, makes enemies take more damage. So it's kind of similar to the Gargoyle Tail in that effect. Our intelligence is quite low, so our mana regen is going to be lacking. Unholy Bible is absolutely frickin' vestibular gaming. I think an offhand Agony Staff could go pretty hard. Blow it up. Hello? We could re-enchant this. Event, we're in the sewers, why not? Yeah. I have no bombs, and I'm a scream. An epic item, huh? I really don't want this to be the rat boss. I really don't want this to be the rat boss with Totem enchanted. Yeah. We could very easily die here. One thing I don't like about the rat boss is that it's got a projectile that throws that's a bag of trash, and then that of course explodes into more trash. The explosion is random, but it has like an immediate jump of the projectile as soon as it leaves the parent, if you will. And that means that being anywhere near that bag of trash projectile could just mean taking bad damage. And in combination with battery and totem, doesn't leave us with a lot of room here. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so those do seek. Oh, We are gonna die here, yep. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, don't know what else to say, really. We could certainly try changing our trinket next time. Ones that other people deem like very good is not going random for one. Otherwise, taking replenishing repair powder on a class that starts with armor available is a good way for you to just go ahead and, air quotes, for free, get back some health. Other people will take the soul scarf, which allows your flask to also grant you soul hearts on consumption. Then all you have to do is either find an inn or what else am I trying to say? One of those blood offering rooms, and then you blow that up with a bomb, and then you get access to flash charges, and it grants you double healing, essentially. Another thing that you could do is take Storm in a Bottle. That could very easily rush your first boss. And another thing that... hold up. It had the wrong tooltip up. Another thing that some people will do is take the radio so that it deals free damage for you, especially because you're going to be more concerned with dodging stuff. And that basically acts as a companion. And then, of course, it being periodical means that you can also scale into it. Anyways, we got Bob 3 times. Again, was kind of expecting it. Of course, watch, I'm gonna, log off, start rendering this video, and then run a Cinder 16. Again, not sort of like a weird flex or anything, but before I started recording this series, the series, I had a 3 streak on Cinder 16. So I thought that I was, not getting lucky 3 times. But I guess it's more of a line of not getting unlucky. Anyways, hopefully the video was entertaining, or at least educational. If you have any feedback whatsoever, be it questions, comments, concerns, misplay alerts, be sure to put those down in the comments below. And until next time, I'll catch you guys around.